salutations. My name is Tanisha. I am the host of Wellness Through Reading. I thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. So, today's episode, you already saw that title. We are talking about all things self care with finances through the reading book review of Get Good with Reading by Tiffany Aliche, also known as the Budgetnista. If you've been with me with this channel for a while, you've heard me do a little bit of a book review on it before, but I decided to come back and do a little more of a dive on one of the topics in particular, which is save like a squirrel. So more on that in a bit, but I just feel like financial literacy is something that we as a whole generation did not get enough of. So you'll probably hear me talk about this book and the workbook that goes along with it a lot more on this channel, and also others as well too. So stay tuned for that. Before we dive into that, let's talk about what's new on the channel. So we have a new social, not really new, the platform formerly known as Twitter, X. We have our handle is at Literary Love Club, love spelled L-U-V Club. So head on over there, hit subscribe. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so that way you stay updated when new episodes are uploaded. So I was going to just talk real quick about do self-help books really work? But really, though, the book that I'm about to review is considered technically a financial book, but it can also be under the guise of self-help as well, too. Over the past decade, self-help books have been skyrocketing in the market. And so I also just kind of want to stop and think, do they actually work? Well, truthfully speaking, it's all dependent on the person. So if you're just reading the book just to read through it and you're not actually putting what you read to practice, then no, it's not going to work for you. But also, there are just some conditions that just by reading it in a book, it's not going to cure everything. I think it sounds like common sense, but today's logic, common sense is not all that common. So there's that. Also, things like depression, anxiety, social issues like that, you really should seek out a professional for that. But for things like financial literacy like this, I think honestly this book has helped me tremendously so much with my finances, getting a savings account. I'm in a new apartment now because I'm able to pay off all my debts because of this book. And also, not only just because of this book, because I put what the book gave me into practice. And that's the key point in self-help books as well, too. So all you naysayers out there, self-help books can be very helpful, a powerful tool actually that we can use, but again, gotta use it. So with that in mind, let's just dive right into this book review on how to get good with money by Tiffany Aliche, 10 Simple Steps to Becoming Financially Whole. Let's see my notes here. So those 10 steps include building your budget, save like a squirrel, dig out of debt, score high, understanding your credit score, learn to earn or increasing your income, invest like an insider, get good with your insurance, getting rich or increasing your net worth, picking your money team or just getting a financial counselor or your accountability team, and number 10, leaving a legacy or your estate planning. And like I said, I'm just going to focus on the second step, which is save like a squirrel. I feel like that's an important step. Building your budget obviously is very important, knowing there's so many tools online as well too. Also with this book as well too, it comes with its own budgeting template that you can use. But I feel like saving like a squirrel is one of those that, reading my notes again. I read an article somewhere, and actually I've been seeing it online as well too, that American, particularly, this is just a U.S. centric conversation because that's where I am from. I think there's a percentage, but like 56% of Americans don't have $1,000 in savings. That is a scary statistic. Not even $1,000. So most Americans are basically one paycheck away from financial ruin. And with the rising costs and everything, cost of living and everything, I can completely understand why that is. But how do we dig our way out of it? How do we get out of it? Do you need to get a second part-time job? Do you need maybe the job that you have right now? Do you need to get another job that pays you more for what you're doing? Do you need to go back to school? Do you need a roommate? You have to ask yourself these questions. Those are all the questions that I asked myself as I was going through this book as well too. So Part 2, Saving Like a Squirrel. I really like that title for that financial whole step, because if you think about it, squirrels in like the end of summer begin mostly through the fall. Little by little, they save up nuts and they put them away in a hideout. So that way when winter comes, they have all the nuts they'll need to get them through the winter. So that way in the spring and summer and fall, they can just start little by little, putting little nuts away so that way they don't have to go out into the middle of winter to scavenge for food. Because when winter comes, everything's dead. There's nothing for them to eat on. And that's essentially how we should be saving up as well too. Now I know there are so many, financial gurus and whatnot that say 10 steps to save $10,000 in 3 months. And if you have the finances to do that, then by all means do that. But most people in the world don't have that. Don't have that ability to save $10,000 in 3 months. I'm just gonna be honest. Honestly, it took me a solid 3 years to finally save up to a fully funded financial and honest emergency fund. Honestly, probably need some more too. So again, so one thing that I learned with this book is that it takes time, it takes patience. You didn't get yourself into this debt overnight. It took time to get into debt. It's going to take you some time to get out of it. So just be patient with it and know that you will eventually get out of it. That's the one thing that I had to learn, just to stop stressing, calm down, and make a plan. So, how's that plan? Save like a squirrel. First, identify your savings goal. How much money do you want to save up? How much money do you think you need? And if you just don't know the answer to, that's when we go into the second, which is drop down. Oh, Tiffany Aliche, I love her for this. She says, drop down and get your doodle on. For those of us millennials, drop down and get your eagle on, girl. Drop down and get your doodle on, girl. So basically what she's saying is if you had to only eat like ramen noodle, the basic $1 thing, ramen noodle. So that way, what is your bare minimum for what you need to live on? Rent, utilities, food. Basically, the big three. Calculate that and then save 3 to 6 months of that first. Now, once you save that up, if you feel like you need more, go ahead and get more. But at least, if anything, if you lose your job, you get sick, you have at least something saved up so that way you're not put into a financial hole. So that's why I got around getting into the law. 3, in terms of saving like a squirrel, you need to create a money side, what she calls a mindset and spending. So she calls it her like it, need it, love it. No, it's like it, love it, need it. So your needs are things that you have to have met. You have to put money aside for that. Things like your rent, food, utilities, medical expenses, all that. Those are things that you need. Now, the things that you love, you should also put a little bit of money aside for that as well, too. Because that way, yes, we need to take care of. So, going back to my mindset, money, set, spending. So that is your like it, love it, need it. Needs need to be met. Love, you still need your loves. You still need to have fun. Yes, you're in debt. Yes, you got all these things going on, but life is still, you can't take the joy out of life. Adulthood is already hard enough. At least find some time for your love. Like for me, my love is books. So I put a little bit of money aside every month so that way I can go to the bookstore, pick up a new book, put it on my TBR shelf list. And don't ask me why I read all the books on the TBR shelf list. I want to read. I love it. It's what I do. I love to read. I love why I have a podcast. So there. And then you'll like it. Now, this is your list of things that maybe in the future I want to get, but it's not something that I need to get right now. Case in point, I'm thinking about getting a new laptop. The one I have right now is fine, but in the future I'm going to need one. So that's how I like it type of thing. If, say, you get an extra money cash flow or whatnot, look at that list again of the needs, loves, and wants. Likes is what she calls it. And then maybe you can take something off of the like it list. So that's the money mindset spending. And then 4, set up and automate. So this is the step that really helped me to gain my financial goals as part of my emergency saving fund. And so typically what you would do, just every, however long you want to set it, maybe twice a week, once a week or whatever, set it. Like I did for me, how I set my goal. I did $25 every Wednesday for the next 3 years. And then also whenever I had a nice cash flow, my tax refund money, I would put all that into a savings account. And that's how I got my emergency fund. It's a set up and go type of thing. That way you don't even think about it. It's already being transferred. Also, what you can do, that's one way to do it, set up and automate. Also, what you can do is to split it before you get it. Typically, with your job, what you can also do is that you can take like a certain percent, like 80% of your paycheck, you can put towards obviously your bills and everything, and then maybe 20 or 10% you can put towards your emergency fund, or you can set up in that way. So that way, when your paycheck comes, that money is already being sent to your emergency fund or to your savings account or whatever, and you don't even have to think about it. So Tiffany Aliche states that there are really two types of emergency of fund savings accounts that you should have: your emergency fund and then your goal savings fund. Now, an emergency fund is just that for emergencies: medical, car, home, those type of things. You get sick, you got an unexpected medical bill, there's a leak in your building, and you had to go stay at a hotel or home ownership, homeowners and whatnot. All types of things can go wrong. Refrigerator goes out, your TV breaks, plumbing, roofing, all that stuff that comes out of the emergency fund. And but just remember, when you take money out of your emergency fund, make sure that you put it back in your budget to refill it back up again in case of another emergency. And that's what it's there for. It's for those emergencies. I'm repeating myself again, but I can't stress that enough because, again, majority of Americans barely have $1,000 saved up. Yikes. So we need to get on that very quickly. Then we have the emergency fund for emergency. Then you have your goal savings funds. So say you want to go back to school. Say you want to save up to buy a car. Say you want to save up to buy a newer laptop or computer or whatnot. That is what the goal savings fund is for. It's for to put money aside so that way, it would say you want to go back. Say you want to do an online school training thing, or say you want to go on vacation with your family. They'll determine how much money you need to save up each month before that vacation time starts, and then save little by little, like a squirrel, each month, putting money away into that savings account or a retirement fund or what have you. Well, retirement, that's a whole nother section in the thing. But there you go, saving like a squirrel. One thing that I really love that Tiffany Aliche said in an interview, Tiffany Aliche said in an interview, that your money can never do more or less than what you tell it to do. So if you tell it to go this way, it will go that way. And also for your emergency and goal savings funds, that should not be connected to your personal checking account. That should be in an online high yield savings account. So that way it's kind of an out of sight, out of mind. It's there, but you can't touch it excessively. Like your money, it takes roughly maybe 24 hours for you to get your money. That way, you're not tempted to kind of dip into it. Because if it's attached to your personal checking account, it's just too easy to just transfer it back into your checking account, and then you're spending it, and then you're right back to square one. So, yeah. And before we move any further, I gotta stop right quick and talk to the ladies of the podcast. Ladies, so if you've been with me before, you've heard me talk about this Semaine supplements, hair and skin gummy with biotin and collagen. This is actually their new product. I've been using it for a while now, and I gotta say, my hair has grown exponentially. I can already feel it growing, and my nails are also extra stronger as well too. It's packed with great things for your hair and skin, like vitamin E, vitamin C, biotin, all that great stuff. So to get your first bottle, head on over to semainehealth.com. That is SEMAINE health.com. Use the promo code Wellness Through Reading. Get 15% off your first bottle. I thank you so much for listening. Now let's dive back into the episode. Alrighty. All right. So here's what I'm going to do next. I'm actually going to go into the workbook. This is the made whole that goes along with the book as well too. And I'm going to turn to the page where it's called Do the Work. And this part of the page is where you get to read out all your needs, your loves, your likes, and your wants. And so going through this as well. So yeah, so I'm gonna read this to you. So think about the 4 categories: needs, loves, likes, and wants, and what falls into each category for you. Write them down. What comes to mind? The most people who do this exercise have the same things listed as needs. There are people's definitions of loves, likes, and wants that also varies. So commit to spending a little time figuring out what falls in each category. Perhaps you can skip Netflix for a night and just get to know your spending self a little bit better. So, what are your needs? Needs are things, like I said, are like rent, gas, the car, also car payment, grocery, etc., etc. So, my loves are books, Let me make sure you guys can see this. There you go. Bring it up. Bring it over. Here we go. Books. Books. Let's see what else would be like. Wow, this is difficult. Thinking on the spot right now. What I look. Ooh, journals. I do love a good journal. I'm currently in the search for a really good journal as well too. Something else that I really just love. Magazines. Reading is just my thing, especially science magazines as well too. So I'll come back to that. But yeah, those are just the loves that I just, I gotta keep it in the budget. I'm sorry. That's just what I do. My likes, I would like a new laptop. Honestly, that falls more into the categories of a want. It's not something I need right now, but in the future, I would like that as well too. Let's see, a new mattress. Mattress I have is fine, but I definitely need a new one. My likes, I definitely need some new dresses. Summertime's coming up, so I do need some new clothes. First, I gotta get rid of the old as well too. Something else that I would like, some new shoes. That's about it. I'm pretty good on everything else. So yeah. Ooh, honestly, I want to also read you guys this short little excerpt as well too. So it's an in real life story by Chandra from New York, New York. I always had sort of savings, but it was never my priority. I had no budget to speak of, so I had no idea what I could intentionally save. For instance, I had no concept of creating a travel fund. The first thing I did was set up a high yield savings account. I moved my little savings out of my brick and mortar bank account and set up an automatic withdrawals, all about 100 per month from my checking my into my checking number one into this high yield savings account. I felt that was all I could handle at the time. Then, additionally, money that I came across via bonuses or my big fat check from Action would be deposited into the same account. Anytime I sold something online, I'd put like money away. I did not care. It was $2, $20. I sold clothes, books, old textbook CDs, and yes, I do say a CD. If I did some type of gig, and my life totally changed. As I made more money, I got into the habit of saving 10% of my income and on unexpected money. And now I have more money saved than I've had in my most of my adult life. Instead of spending it on shiny new things, I invest on a monthly basis. I learned that you have to tell your money where to go, or it will tell you what it wants. Let me say that one more time. I had to learn that you have to tell your money where to go, or it will go wherever it wants to. Also have the original Need, Love It, Like It, Want It sticker from the Budgetnista on one of my credit cards. That is amazing. Now, did y'all hear that correctly? Tell your money where it needs to go, or it will tell you where it wants to go. Like I said, your money, it is your money, and you have to be the director of it. I don't care how much money you're making. You need to know the ins and outs and all that fun jazz. So yeah, that is, all in all, it's a really great read. Both these books, the workbook and this book, is an easy read, very quick. I also have an audiobook as well too, because she's the one who's narrating it, Tiffany Aliche. Again, 5 out of 5 star read. I'm rereading it again too, and I'm picking up more stuff as well too. You can never know enough about finances as well too. I would totally follow her on YouTube as well too. I love this book. It has changed my financial future, and it's made me more positive about my money and made me more in control of it as well too. Because not only gives you the two powerful tools on what to do and how it is, but also it gives you back the what's the word I'm looking for? It empowers you. Let's just say it. Let's leave it at that. Yeah, it's empowering. Yeah. All right. Well, let me look. Oh, and that is all I have for you today. So I thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Like what you saw, film this vibe, hit that button, subscribe so you can stay updated when new episodes are uploaded. Typically, I upload here on Wednesdays, but I also post a little things here and now and then to keep you motivated, keep you reading. So as always, I thank you so much. I wish you all good wellness, a good week, and good reading. Bye.